Right now it was soft and round, along with the rest of her. Her belly was so big she bumped against the counter, and as she finished with the eggs, she winced and muttered, "Oh, that's enough of that, you rascal," which meant the baby was kicking her ribs again. Eleanor had always thought she looked more like Jenny than her own mother. They had the same brown hair, though instead of hanging straight down to her shoulders like Eleanor's, Jenny's sprang out around her face, escaping her braid. They had the same long nose, the same fair skin and murky green eyes, the same penchant for striped sweaters, and even the exact same glasses. But somehow Jenny always looked romantic and artistic, and Eleanor just felt gawky and plain. Eleanor's step creaked a floorboard, and Jenny turned with a beaming smile. Too bright, Eleanor thought. It meant she was trying, which meant she wasn't really smiling. "Here you go, hun," Aunt Jenny said. The eggs steamed. The toast was perfectly toasted, just the right shade of brown. The jam was raspberry, thick and homemade. Eleanor's stomach turned, and so did her mouth, downward in a little frown she couldn't stop. She pushed her glasses up, trying to use the movement to hide the frown. "Nervous belly?" Aunt Jenny asked. She sighed, setting the plate down on the kitchen island between them. "I know it's tough, but if you don't start school now, you're going to get too far behind, and then you might have to stay back a year." "I know," Eleanor said. She looked down at the Eden Eld Academy uniform she'd put on that morning. Blue plaid skirt that fell to her knees, polo shirt, dark blue jacket with the school crest on the front. Everything was a bit too stiff and a touch too large. Aunt Jenny had worked hard to get her into Eden Eld instead of the public middle school, which was farther away and allegedly full of kids who cut school and watched R-rated movies without permission, which passed for juvenile delinquency in a town as sleepy as Eden Eld. Eleanor was supposed to be grateful that she got into Eden Eld Academy, but it was hard to be grateful for anything these days. "Couldn't you homeschool me or something? I can learn on my own. It's all online now. I can design my own classes. You'd hardly have to do a thing." Aunt Jenny put a hand on her belly and looked sad. Eleanor felt a twinge of anger that Aunt Jenny didn't deserve, but she couldn't help it. Every time someone looked at her like that, she felt like it was her job to cheer them up, to promise she was okay, even though she wasn't. Like she had to make them feel better, instead of the other way around. "I would, hun. But with the baby due any day and Ben working such long hours, we just can't. And Eden Eld is a great school. Your mom and I—" Aunt Jenny stopped. It was an unspoken rule that they didn't talk about Eleanor's mom. "Just give it a week or two, okay? And then we can see how it's going." She nudged the plate toward Eleanor. "Try some toast at least?" Eleanor bit back the urge to argue. Aunt Jenny was right. She had to go to school. Going to school was normal, and Eleanor needed to be normal. Needed everyone else to think she was normal. She'd made a plan. Her how to be normal plan. 1. Don't talk about mom. 2. Go to school. 3. Don't talk about things that aren't there. 4. Smile. So Eleanor smiled. She imagined puppet strings on the corners of her mouth, pulling them up. She made her eyes smile, too, wrinkling a little at the edges. That smile was the most useful kind of lie she'd learned to tell in the past couple of months. "Thanks, Aunt Jenny," she said, taking the toast. "I think I hear the bus. I'd better go." She felt Aunt Jenny's so worried look on her back all the way to the hall. She'd stepped out into the brisk late October air before she realized she'd forgotten to ask about the clock. But now she wasn't sure she should. The clock was strange. All of Ashford House was strange, but the clock seemed different. What if it was one of those things she saw that she shouldn't see, that wasn't really there? Her mother saw things she shouldn't, things she couldn't. Eleanor used to see them too, but then she got better. But her mother hadn't. She didn't want anyone, especially Jenny, thinking she might be like her mom. Even if it was true. Especially if it was true. So Eleanor tried.